Namaskar, welcome to PK's classes. Today we will study guanylate cyclase C agonists. So these are coming under the laxative drugs, and if we see the epithelial cells of the intestine, see the epithelial cells in intestine, then there are two sides. This is the basolateral side and this is the apical side. So apical membrane and basolateral membrane, and so this side is the lumen. So the GI lumen is there, and guanylate cyclase C is located in the apical membrane of the epithelial cells, and there are drugs like linaclotide, plecanatide. They act as agonist on the guanylate cyclase C, which activates the guanylate cyclase C to convert GTP to cyclic GMP, and in turn cyclic GMP activates protein kinase G2, and protein kinase G2 activates the CFTR. CFTR stands for cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator, and it regulates the conductance of two anions, chloride and bicarbonate. So you can see the chloride channel 1 is associated with the CFTR, and the chloride channel 2 is another one, and lubiprostone activates chloride channel 2 as well as the CFTR, and linaclotide and plecanatide, they by activating guanylate cyclase increase the production of cyclic GMP, which activates protein kinase 2, which then activates the CFTR. So what is the CFTR? Cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator. So these are located in the epithelial cells of secretory tissues present in gut or gastrointestinal tract, airways or the bronchial tract, and the reproductive tracts, and it acts as a pathway for chloride and bicarbonate ions or anions, and in turn it influences the movement of water. So its function is to produce thin watery mucus. So because of the mucus production, it protects the linings of the secretory tissues. If there is a mutation in the CFTR gene, then there will be impaired chloride transport. So that produces thick, sticky mucus. So clogs the airways and other organs, and that condition is called cystic fibrosis. So that's why this is known as CFTR, and this CFTR is associated with chloride and bicarbonate secretion into the lumen in case of GIT. So you can see linaclotide is an agonist of the guanylate cyclase C receptor, a transmembrane receptor, and it increases the production of cyclic GMP, which activates protein kinase G, which then activates the CFTR, and CFTR associated chloride and bicarbonate are released into the, or secreted into the lumen, GI lumen, and their concentration in the lumen increases. And this also facilitates the paracellular secretion of sodium and water, and in this way there will be induction of osmosis and an increased equivalent of and isosmotic equivalent of water is also there is flow of water into the lumen, and in this lumen content, water content increases. So let us see that. So linaclotide, plecanatide, they are agonist of guanylyl cyclase C, and in this way they increase the production of cyclic GMP, which activates protein kinase 2, and protein kinase 2 then activates CFTR, the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator, and this increases the chloride, bicarbonate in the intestinal lumen. And since it is chloride is negative ion, so there is also flow of the sodium positive ion to maintain isoelectric neutrality. So there is also movement of sodium to maintain isoelectric neutrality, and because of that their concentration in the lumen increase, and they induce osmosis. As we know, osmosis is the process of flow of solvent from low concentration to high concentration. So suppose this one, so when the sodium, chloride, all these ions concentration increase, then to as per the law of equilibrium, if we have a semi-permeable membrane in which these ions cannot move, so then water will move from the low concentration to high concentration. So that is the process of osmosis. So that is osmosis will be induced. So an isosmotic equivalent of water flows, and this results in increase in fluid secretion into the intestinal lumen, which soften the stool, and also due to the increase in bulk of water content, there can also be increase in peristalsis, peristaltic movement because of increase in bulk of water content. And these guanylate cyclase C agonist also has another action. They decrease the sensitivity of pain sensing neurons, so they can also decrease the pain. So in this way they produce the laxative action by increasing peristalsis, by softening the stool, and by decreasing the sensitivity of pain sensing neurons. So they can be used in irritable bowel syndrome, which is constipation predominant, and can also be used in chronic idiopathic constipation, CIC. So the dose, both the drugs are used once daily, and linaclotide dose varies from 72 microgram to 290 microgram. 72 microgram, the second one is 145 microgram, and the highest dose is 290 microgram. Plecanatide dose is 3 milligram per oral once daily. So both the drugs are used orally. So that's all about guanylate cyclase C agonist. Thank you.